Up until this point, we had 60 people sign up to be part of the matchmaking experiment. We pared that number down to 10, and now it's time to get to the nitty-gritty and try to find these people a soulmate. I didn't want to be biased in the matchmaking process. And so to eliminate any of my preconceived notions, I invited a couple of my friends over to my house, both men and women, some who were single, some who were in relationships. And we spent hours watching all of the interviews, just like the ones that I showed you. And we decided who will be matched up. Child, it was a lot.
I told you he was a Trump supporter. Would you be surprised? That was my point.
Okay, so raise your hand. Raise your hand if you think that we should pair Alex with Antonia. Yes to Alex and Antonia.
If we're doing a second person?
If we're doing a second person.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow.
That could be interesting.
Okay, period. Ultimately, we ended up matching one guy with one or two ladies. Let's start off with Alex. If you remember Alex.
And now I just kind of realized that I do see the benefits of that, of building a partnership with somebody and trying to kind of grow with them, especially, as I'm starting to get older and think, I feel like my career is in a really good spot and like a lot of my other things are in a good spot, but I don't have that like real partnership.
If you remember, Alex wanted somebody who was very kind, somebody who was well-traveled, somebody who would get active with him because he's really active, playing bike polo and going hiking, somebody who was not in a box, somebody who was willing to explore and do adventures. We matched Alex with Jarrell because Jarrell, so kind, her spirit was so gentle.
When I love people, I love them really, really well. And maybe that is something that people notice, but to me, when you're in my life and you're in my circle, you are going to never doubt like the love and devotion that I have to you or for you.
She lived overseas before. She's played sports on the weekends with her friends. And ultimately, she was interested in being partnered with somebody who she could maintain her independence with despite being in partnership. We also matched Alex with Antonia. Antonia was fun, lighthearted. She also had lived overseas.
I think the thing about me that not everybody gets to experience is how soft I am. I think I'm the strong friend, even though I'm trying to beat the allegation.
And Antonia gave the vibe that because she was a bartender, she can kind of mix with any type of personality. She was extroverted. I was intrigued about this match because though Alex was a little bit more reserved, still extroverted, I was intrigued to know how Antonia would balance out his personality. Then we had Markevius. Markevius was a jokester. He cracked jokes the whole interview. He was so fun.
I don't know, I'm a little bit of a lover boy, so I like corny shit.
Charismatic. He said that he was a mix of introverted and extroverted, loved to get active, had a dog. He was also exploring cooking as a creative outlet. We thought Latrice and Markevius would get along well because Latrice was so chill and so laid back, but like cool.
I don't like to stress too much on things that I can't change, so I just go with the flow.
And Latrice also has a dog. And because she was such a go with the flow type girl, and she had like, her and Markevius had this little, I wouldn't say country's not the right word, but they had this little, like this country type vibe, like just not Minnesotan vibe. It was just like, yeah, like da-da-da. Like it seemed like they were just kicking with each other. You know what I'm saying? We also matched Markevius with Jen Delta Ray. She, like Markevius, was cracking jokes the whole time, very lighthearted, fun.
Conversation, very sapiosexual. I like my mind to be twerked on, you know what I'm saying?
She seemed extroverted, like friendly. And we thought that Markevius and Jen Delta could connect on creative things. They both had creative outlets. Markevius cooking and putting stuff together, and Jen Delta with her art and poetry and things like that. Then we have Ian. Ian was so chill but cool. Like he had a nice personality. He was, making jokes too.
I'm just a chill guy, basically. So,
and we thought Ian would be a good match with Latea because Latea, so sweet, like such a genuine, bubbly personality.
I'm a dweeb. I love anime and I read webtoons on my phone.
And I think having Latea and Ian together, they would bring different things out of each other, especially Latea, like bringing Ian out of his shell potentially. The last guy that we interviewed chose to remain anonymous, so I won't be talking about who he got matched with.
I was super excited to do the matchmaking process, but let me think. It's been a little bit harder than I expected. While we do it like as a group downstairs, it's hard because everybody has their different opinions. I really love bringing in different opinions though. It's really nice having a male perspectives that are older and younger or married, because I feel like their perspectives are very valuable, and same with women. Like we get a wide range of perspectives, and I think it's very helpful.
I really like Jarrell, so I forgot who he paired her with, but I think whoever Jarrell matches with would be really great.
And the date that I'm most excited to see is Alex and Jarrell. I just feel like they both are kind of open-minded, could open up to some great conversation and great dialogue. And I just want to see how that all ends up going about. So I'm excited about it.
So my initial thoughts, I think that there are a lot of great personalities. It's interesting to see the range of people. I think that the date that I'm most excited to see is Ian's date, because he's a little quieter. And I think that it'll be interesting to see his personality possibly come out. And then Markevius, did I say his name right? Markevius, as well. I think that he has a very dynamic personality, and so to see how he interacts with his two dates will be very interesting.
I'm excited to see how the date with Alex goes. I thought he was a pretty interesting from the guys. And then in regards to marketing, I think some black men didn't sign up. I feel like some of the marketing was, I understand it being geared towards black women. I felt like it left some of the black male experience out of it, or maybe didn't feel like the safest space for black men to participate, even though you all wanted black men to participate.
I'm just really looking forward to seeing how these dates play out, and seeing if anybody wants to go on a second date and maybe even a third.
After we did the matching, we sent out an email to all of the participants saying, you've been matched, meet at this restaurant at this time to be introduced to your blind date. After that email was sent out, two of the guys, Ian and our anonymous participant, decided that they actually didn't want to go on blind dates, so they didn't go. So in the end, we had Alex and Markevius meet up with Latrice, Jandaltha, and Jarrell at Gokaya Bistro on a Tuesday. I was so nervous. But I felt like Gokaya was such a cute little vibey spot, and with the potential optimism of love, I was optimistic that we were gonna have a good story at the end. Because I'm really serious about this experiment and I really wanted people to fall in love, I do not have great footage of the dates because I wanted them to be like free to actually be on their date and not be worried about, oh my gosh, I'm being filmed, like blah, blah, blah. So I tried to like be very low key and only film a little bit. So the footage that I have is terrible. But I will say this is what I'll say. I was there with Kiki, one of my producers, and we were watching the dates unfold. And everybody that was on the date was cheesing and grinning and laughing the whole time. Everybody was just laughing and smiling. And with Alex and Jarrell, I ended up leaving them because they were having such a good conversation. They were just talking all night. And they were actually the last two people in the restaurant at the end of the day. So I was like, okay. Is this working? Is it working? So 2 weeks later, I checked in on the ladies because I felt more comfortable reaching out to the ladies to see how things had been going since the dates.
I just got home from a second date with Alex, and he is such a good guy. He planned our date tonight and was incredibly thoughtful in his planning, and I'm just enjoying getting to know him. I think what I've been drawn to so much with him is that he has a rich and full life already, and he's not looking for a partner to complete him in any way. He's looking for a partner who's going to add to this wonderful life that he's already created for himself. And that is exactly what I've been searching for in a partner. So it's just refreshing to meet someone who is like-minded in that sense. I do think that Alex and I would work on paper, and I imagine that that is why we were paired together. But I don't think that our worlds would have ever collided without this experience.
So, as it stands today, nobody that I matched on a blind date is still in communication. And that is sad. I am sad about it because it didn't work out. Nobody's getting married from my matchmaking service. And it's a little bit frustrating because all of the people who participated in the experiment, in my opinion, from the short conversations that I've had with them, all of them are strangers to me. I just met them in the interviews. They all seem so nice. They seem so nice and so caring and just cool. And it's frustrating that that's just not enough, I guess, to have a relationship. And I don't know why it's so hard for people to come together. Like, I'm really just like, I don't understand it. I got married when I was 23. And the only thing that I really knew about my husband at that time was that he was kind and considerate and he was fun. Like, that's all I really knew. And we've been married 8 years this year. And I'm just like, was it really that simple back then? Like, is it that much more complicated today? If two people are just committed to being good people to one another, I think it could work. But you just got to take a chance, you know, and not worry about what other people are going to say about the relationship or how it's going to come across on social media or like being able to brag to strangers about your relationship. I don't know, child. But it does make me very sad that it didn't really work out the way that I thought it would, especially with having so many more participants and like making this more of a dynamic experience. It still wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. The only thing that I can say, and this is just an observation, this is just me looking at the experiment and making an objective observation. It was the men that opted out of the relationship in every scenario in this case. It was men that decided that they didn't want to participate in the blind date. It was men that sent out a text like, hey, it's not working out. I can't give you what you need. It was a man that decided like, yeah, this is not what I'm looking for right now. And I feel like the women were open. Just an observation. And I just can't help but wonder, is that indicative of the state of Black love in America overall? I don't know.
I will say, like, this is a perfect chance for us to not care or like not prioritize looks because they're going on a blind date.
I told my coworker this too though. I said every black man can't get a black woman.
That's fair.
What? Because there's some brothers at work. Good brothers. Maybe they 5'2", but good brothers.
Yeah.
And they just don't meet they don't fit it might be how they dress, it might be the charm, they might be quirky, they might be socially awkward. Even like the one lady, she was like, she needs a man that when she goes places is gonna come in the room. Mm-hmm. Like how many men out here really can just come in the room? There's only a handful.
It's 100% because of the internet. Mm-hmm. It gives you this illusion that you have more options than you actually do.
Absolutely. That's right.
And it causes you to feel like I have to have X, Y, Z because people are competing with people for a fake life that you do not know on the internet. So that's to your point. Oh, I want a tall man. That's why automatically I'm ruling out X, Y, Z when it's like, that really doesn't matter.
You talk about, oh, I want to be deep into my career. I want to be settled. I want to like travel the world before I settle down. is one of the issues because
100%.
like I tell people all the time, like one of the things that I love about my relationship, my marriage and relationship, whatever you want to call it, is that I was able to see Bria grow from a little girl to graduating college, masters, becoming an AKA, getting her first job. I've seen her grow up in life. And a lot of men and women are missing out on that progress that somebody is having. And like that's that substance. You're looking for that ready-made.
They don't want to grow.
Oh, I can post you on Instagram tomorrow because you work in finance. You're over 6 foot. You drive a Benz.
You have to have it all together. I don't want to grow with you. You need to come to me with it already set.
That stops men too, though. I feel like that stops me probably late 20s because I was just like, I don't make enough. I'm not far enough in my career. So I wasn't even.
But then it's like, are you ever there though?
But at the time, you feel like you just don't, you know you're not where you want to be, and you don't, it almost makes you feel not worthy of it.
And I think that it, back in yesteryear, like with what happened with y'all prioritized relationship at an earlier age, where now you got to go through the bumps and grinds and get to know each other on that level and survive together, and now you build something beautiful in this beautiful home, built a relationship, got friends here, established a whole family here. But a lot of people are skipping that whole phase because they're trying to focus on a career that
bump a career.
Truth be told, some of my homegirls don't really want that. Their career, they want to be in a relationship where their man makes more and is able to take care of them. But they spent most of their years that they should have been prioritizing a relationship, building a career that they later don't even really want.
Ooh.
Yeah, but also it's tough. There's so many layers, to be honest, when it comes to black love and black people and what black people experience in general. Like there's a lot of trauma in so many different ways in relationships and just like systemically. So there's that aspect. But then additionally, for a long time, black women's needs have not been met. Even you said it yourself, like you did not have like a very good blueprint to look up to for a father. That's not an uncommon thing for black men.
No.
And that's something that we have to acknowledge. More people need to acknowledge, like black women do not at the end of the day have a large dating pool for black men at the end of the day. They really do not.
What does that mean?
They don't have a lot of options to date black men. There's not a large dating pool for black men because they're either incarcerated or they have like 8 kids and I'm not even just generalizing. I also went to school and I learned that literally the black dating pool is very small.